Our greatest glory is not never having fallen, but having the strength to rise up again. I always love that quote. It's always inspired me. It epitomizes that sort of Rocky mentality from the old film, the boxing film, where he just keeps getting up off the canvas. Every time he gets knocked back down, he gets up again until finally his opponent's demoralized. In this case, the opponent, if you like, is relapse. And I was chatting to someone yesterday who's fresh back from a relapse and is full of feelings of guilt, shame, remorse, anger, lots of these feelings coming in. So in this video, I want to quickly just chat through my experiences of that and how to handle it. Just before I do that, take a moment to subscribe if you wouldn't mind. That'd be great for the channel. And also, if my videos help you in any way and you feel like you want to give the channel some support, click on the Ko-fi link in the description and find out how you can do that. Thanks a lot. So relapse, about just on 2 years ago now, I had what I hope is my final relapse. And I'd had quite a long period of sobriety leading up to that. And there are videos on this channel that go into that. I won't go into the actual relapse in detail, but there are videos on the channel that sort of document that and what led up to it. But the sobriety I was in, that long period of sobriety, wasn't what I would call good sobriety. It was more what I'd call white knuckling sobriety. I didn't have any support mechanisms in place. I didn't have any peer group, anyone I could talk to really. I just sort of toughed it out on my own and thought, well, I can do this. I've got this sober thing now. I've got it all in hand. I'm sorted. I'm strong enough to do this. I've been through worse things in my life. But that's never really the case unless you've got the support in place. There's always a chance, and even then, there's still a chance. I know people who, unfortunately, have had 30 odd years sobriety, good sobriety, or perceived good sobriety, and they've gone back out there, and something's happened that's driven them back out there, if you like. And some of them have died because it is. See, the thing is with relapse, it is progressive, so it always gets worse, and you always go back to the point where you left it, if you like. And your body often can't tolerate that, which is why so many people, pass away when they relapse, particularly, addicts, heavy alcoholics and addicts, because their bodies just can't tolerate it. So it's a life and death matter. It's a scary thing to be, and you should be scared of relapse. There are many schools of thought that say, relapse is just a part of recovery. Well, that's bullshit. You don't want it to be a part of recovery. However, what I will say is that there's no such thing as a perfect recovery. If you're a lucky person and you've just put down the alcohol and the drugs and you've changed your life and you've got sober and you've never looked back and you've never had a relapse or a blip or whatever, then absolute congratulations to you. I truly admire you, and that's fantastic. But for many of us out there are inevitable bumps in the road as we learn how to live a sober life. And if we're not quite sure how to live life on life's terms, and shitty times happen, and the pressures build up, and we're not working our program, and we're not doing the right things, and we're not looking after ourselves mentally, and these pressures of the job and the cost of living and family life and financial matters and, all of this stuff going on, peer pressure, and you're not dealing with all this in the correct way, then the chances are, and of course, I always talk about hungry, angry, lonely, tired, those 4 things. If those 4 things are happening, you're in danger, big danger. But what I just wanted to say, the point of this video is, for those of you out there, those feelings of guilt and shame and regret and anger are absolutely normal to feel when you've had a relapse. I remember after that long period of sobriety, when everyone, had known particularly my family, my children, my family and my children, my friends had known, about my sobriety and how long it had been and how secure they were in my sobriety. The biggest feeling for me of guilt and shame and regret and all of those things and anger at myself was because I'd let them down. I perceived, I'd felt I'd let them down. I'd not let myself down, yes, but I'd let them down. And but they're useless emotions, really, because if it's happened, it's happened. And if you're lucky enough to have got through it and survived, you have to go back to that quote I gave you at the beginning, and you have to stand up again. Every time you get knocked down 7 times, get up 8 times. It's just this never give up mentality, this getting up off the floor, dusting yourself off. All right, those feelings are natural. I remember walking into the rooms of AA for the first time 2 years ago with all those same feelings, shame, guilt, knowing I was going to have to speak about this, thinking that everyone would judge me, and it really worried me, and I was fearful of it. But once I stepped through my fear and I went and sat in that room, and everyone welcomed me with open arms, there was no judgment, just love, acceptance, and from then on, learning. All those feelings just disintegrated, and I've not felt them since, because looking back on those feelings won't do me any good at all. The only way now that I can step through that and prove myself is by being the best version of myself that I can be. There's no point in saying sorry to people. Showing them is much more powerful, and then they will feel, the more they see you being the best you can be, the more trust and security they'll have in you, and the more they'll trust your honesty, if you like, which is very, very important. Be honest with yourself as well as with other people, and show some humility, and just grind away. Get back stuck in there. Never give up. Have that mentality that nothing will keep you on the floor, and you will succeed in the end. It doesn't matter how many times you've relapsed. If you're lucky enough to get through it alive, get up and go again, then one day it will stick, I promise you, just like mine has this time, and I'm at peace with that. So carpe diem, my friends. Stay strong, never give up, and get back up off the floor. Much love to you all. See you next time. Bye-bye.